I'm Dr Amanda Samson, and I bring over 20 years' experience in education at tertiary and school-based levels. I've worked in counselling and coaching, and one of my main passions is research into language and identity. I think for me, education's always been my thing. From the time I was really young, my first models of educators were my mum and all her friends, and my first experience really in life for young people is being in a school. So for me, education was always something that pulled me. Or that I was pulled towards. But I think as I've got older, I've realised that education is so much broader than that, and there are so many different opportunities to be involved in transforming people, in changing people, in educating people. And whether you're in the classroom working with someone, whether you're in a counselling room working with somebody, whether you're writing articles and things like that, when I look back with the 2020 vision of hindsight, I can see that this golden thread of wanting to be involved in teaching and learning has always been part of who I am. I think the thing I like most about working with schools is that there's always the possibility of change. There's always the possibility of transformation. And I think it works on a range of different levels. On the one hand, when you're in the classroom with students, you've got the possibility that they're going to change and hopefully that they're going to transform. And I think even with the small things that might happen, that moment when they get something, or that moment when the question becomes deeper or broader, I think those are the things that I love about being in schools on a micro level. But on a macro level, I think we work in schools because there's a possibility of transformation that's much greater than that. We really work in schools because we're working towards the future. And what a privilege that is to be involved in developing young people who will eventually take us forward into the future. That's exciting. I think one of the things I love about Hutton Consulting and working with Fiona and with Peter and the rest of the team is that they are all about being authentic and all about understanding who the people are that work with them, who the people are that they're working with, and the sorts of people that need to come in to really help education transform. And I think that having that vision of the future, that possibility, is one of the things that's really important. So I'm really curious about that, and I think and optimistic. I think that's the other important thing too. I see the potential, I see the possibility, and also I see a sense of urgency. We've been travelling along this path of grades and NAPLANs and ATARs and a very narrow discourse about what education is. And I think that conversation has been really monopolised by the voices that have been about ranking. What I'm really excited about and what I think Hutton Consulting really brings is this broadening of the conversation. The idea that actually education is about relationships, education is about growth, it's about transformation. And all of us will do that at different times, in different ways, at a different pace. And I think that's what's exciting about working with Hutton Consulting, is that they're about that relationship, about understanding who the person is, so we get that connection. Who am I personally? What does that look like when I'm working in my professional landscape, in my professional space? And what does that mean then for education on that professional level? How is that going to change? So that's what's exciting.